rock, paper, scissors, shoot! Is rock, paper, scissors even a serious game? No. No, it's not. Should we make a documentary on it?
We're going to
Maybe.
the Wheeler High School to see if these people know how to play good rock, paper, scissors.
We interviewed Jay Ball and Mr. Kosel, and here's what they had to say. What's your name and what do you do here?
So my name is Jay Ball. I teach in the social studies department. I teach U.S. history, economics, psychology, and sociology.
Have you ever played rock, paper, scissors as a child?
All the time. I have two younger sisters, so that was one of our ways of accomplishing decision-making processes on quite frequent basis.
If someone loses a game, what are the chances they will play better or worse next round?
That's a tough question. It really all depends on how many rounds they've played already and how successful they've been in the past with the game. Rock, paper, scissors, as much as it's a fun, cutesy little, like, everybody knows how to play kind of thing, it's really a mental challenge because there's a lot of luck to it, but there's also some strategy that goes along with it.
Do you think age determines how people play rock, paper, scissors?
I think age can have a little bit to do with it. I think it's more, though, the amount of experience they have with the game. So typically people who are older have played more often, but it really is more, the more times you play and the more experience you get with the people you're playing with and being able to read them, that's what really makes a difference in how you play the game.
Do you think rock, paper, scissors means more than just rock, paper, scissors?
I mean, there are lots of ways you could go with that, but I think, again, it's a mental game, and so I think for some people it is just what it is, but I also think for some people who are super competitive, it can be a little more than just a simple 3-part game.
Do you think if we changed the name rock, paper, scissors to something else, like paper, scissors, rock, it would change the outcomes?
It's possible. The way that psychologically that people think about things has to do with word order. What we see at the beginning tends to be more important. And so there are, I mean, I don't know the exact statistics, but there are a lot of stats out there that talk about, you know, how often people choose rock over paper or over scissors and things like that. So I think, yeah, you change the order of those words, it could make a difference in the way some people play.
What makes our minds different from each other?
Now we're getting into the psych. So all of our thought processes, the way that we process not only information but decision making, all of that has to do with the neural connections in our brain, and those are developed over a pretty big span of time. And so our personal experiences, our educational experiences, all of those things have the ability to impact how our brains function. And so every person, no matter who they are, have at least slight differences, even if they have grown up in the same environment or have had similar experiences. All of those are interpreted differently for individuals, and so everybody thinks just a little bit differently from each other.
Is there strategy in the game, or is it just luck?
I think there's a little bit of both. Strategy really comes in with rock, paper, scissors when you know the people you're playing. So the actual just rock, paper, scissors part of it is a lot of luck, but the more you play with people, the more you learn their patterns, because people do develop patterns in how they throw the different symbols in the game. And so the more you play with the same people, the more you get to know how they operate, and so then there's some strategy to that.
What is the best way to play the game? Out of 3, out of 1, or anything like that?
I mean, it depends on what your end goal is. I think always the more times you have to play, the less luck and the more strategy comes in, because you start to read people, but it really depends on what your end goal is. If we're talking about tournaments, then obviously the more times you play, the better. It gives everybody the opportunity to participate a little bit longer and figure out some strategy.
Do you think ties impact more of what you do more than loses?
I think ties, yes and no. I think ties sometimes give people that little glimmer of hope that like, okay, I'm not done. But when you tie, also, both parties are now looking for a different direction to go. And so it may make it a little bit harder to read what people are doing. So I think it just impacts it in a different way.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Have you ever played a rock, paper, scissors as a child?
Rock, paper, scissors, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, I don't think anybody didn't play it. I think everybody had a chance to. Yeah.
Do you think that the numbers of the times you play can completely sway who can win or lose?
The numbers, so your past experience?
Yes.
Oh, goodness. I don't think so. I think it's mostly a game of chance. You've got three options. You can throw a rock, you can throw a paper, you can throw scissors. I think you got a good 33.3 repeating % chance of winning every single time.
How many outcomes are possible for rock, paper, scissors?
How many outcomes? Well, you can either win, you can lose, or you can tie, right? There's a couple different ways to win, there's a couple different ways to lose, and as far as tying, there's 3 ways. So, what is that, Tori, 9? Does that sound right?
I would say so, yeah.
3 options, 2 people?
Yeah.
Okay. There's 9 different possible options.
What is the probability that includes 3 games of rock, paper, scissors with one person winning the whole time?
One person winning the whole time?
The whole time.
Oh, wow. Okay, so what's the probability that you win against, let's say I'm playing you.
Yeah.
I'm playing you in rock, paper, scissors. The probability that I'm going to win is 1 out of 3, right? Because that could happen, you know, if I throw a rock and you throw a scissors, I can beat you. Or I throw a paper, you throw a rock, or I throw a, whatever the other option was. But you've got a 1 in 3 chance of winning. You said 3 games?
Yes.
So 1/3 times 1/3 times 1/3, multiply them together.
Oh, okay.
What's that, Tori?
That would be 1 over 27.
So you have a 1 in 27 chance of winning. So you've got rounded up to a 4% chance of winning 3 games in a row. But that also includes no tying, no losing. So pretty unlikely.
Now, how about the probability of one person winning one round, and the other person winning the second round, but the first person wins the last round?
Wouldn't it be the same probability? Because what's the probability of someone winning the first round? It'd be 1 over 3. So if I win the first round, it's 1/3, and then you win the second round, there's a 1/3 chance for you as well. And then I win the third round, which is another 1. So the probability would stay the same.
Do you think that someone could win a game with only strategy?
This is where you really dive deep. I guess people could argue there is no strategy in rock, paper, scissors, whereas other people who play this a lot more, they've dived deep into the mental aspect of rock, paper, scissors. They say, you know what, it changes. If I throw rock this first round and I beat your scissors, are you less likely to throw a scissors next time? So that's going to change my, my decision for the next round. So, what was the question again, Matt?
Do you think someone can win a game with only strategy?
I want to say no. I might be wrong.
What is your estimated percentage of how important math is to the mental thought of rock, paper, scissors?
I'd say very little probability, very little percentage. I'm not sure if math helps, other than there's the probability behind it. You've got a 1/3 chance of winning every single time. Not a whole lot.
Really badly. Do you think the game would be more difficult and longer if there are more options, or would it be easier and shorter?
More options other than rock, paper,
Yeah,
scissors?
so like Spock and Lizard.
Oh gosh, yeah. growing up, you'd always play like rock, paper, scissors with a buddy of yours, and you go, rock, paper, scissors, dynamite! You're like, what is that? Like, dynamite kills everything. I win. You're like, okay, that was fun. Or you've got the kid that says, rock, paper, scissors, God! God takes over everything, so you're like, that was fun. Like why are you even playing? More options, if there are more options, your winning percentage, wouldn't it be less? If there are 5, 6, 7 options, I think your winning percentage would be less, and I don't think it would be as fun. I think a third chance of winning that's a good number. It's a good fraction.
Do you think this game really deserves to be in a tournament?
No. This is not a tournament game. The day that it's brought to the Olympics as a national sport, oh gosh, that's pain. No. It's just a fun childhood game.
What do you think of the game, like, actually?
What do I think of the game?
What do you think of the game?
I'm a fan. I like it. It's it brings some childhood into the mix. You know, it brings some fun. I'll tell you that when at home, when my wife and I are in a disagreement, there are sometimes, not always, but there are sometimes when we say, let's rock, paper, scissors. You know, for dinner, let's say I'll want to go one place and she'll want to go the next, and you know, I'd be fine with either one. Sometimes we just kind of throw some fun in there and say, let's play rock, paper, scissors. Whoever wins, best 2 out of 3. That's what we get. And usually I lose. I don't know why. My wife has a better track record than me. I don't know. I don't know if her mental aspect is better than mine. If she can read my mind, she knows what I'm going to throw. I don't know. But I like rock, paper, scissors. It's fun. I don't think I've ever met somebody who doesn't like rock, paper. How could you not like rock, paper, scissors?
Uh-huh.
Who would hate rock, paper, scissors?
Thank you for your time.
Absolutely.
We also decided to hold a rock, paper, scissors competition to see what most underclassmen would choose.
Statistically, it shows that rock is the most played to win, and scissors is normally what ends in a tie. Now let's look at these grown men play the game for a tournament.
Since that day, I've always wanted to be the best. Rock, paper, scissors is tough. It's crazy. Maybe you go for a rock, and then boom, they pick paper. It's just that way.
This is a head-to-head like no other. The best of 3 lightning-fast rounds where everything can change in a split second.
To set expectations, there are no clear favorites here. Fnatic, the old hands, if you will, but Mad have been cutting fingers and wrapping their fists for many years now.
Here we go. Mad versus Fnatic, round 1.
An upset wins with Rock over Unforgiven Scissors. That was lightning quick from Fnatic. Oh, we've got to go see an instant replay of that. Roll it again. There we go. So smooth with that action from Upset.
It's a tough blow for Mad Lions, but they still have 2 rounds to make their comeback. And on stage, Armored and Wonder are stepping up.
Oh, I could genuinely watch this all day. What a disappointment it would be if it only went 2 rounds. Buckle up. See if we can get ourselves a third.
Unbelievable! Mad Lions have gone for scissors once again, literally snatching a victory from the edge of defeat.
My mind is blown with trouble. Old Demons coming back to haunt Fnatic at the worst possible moment, losing to the same strategy multiple rounds in a row.
Well, Namera, I think it all rests on this final round.
But who will be victorious, Mad Lions or Fnatic? The victor will be celebrated today, but there can only be one.
This is the end. Thanks for watching. Now go watch our better video, the North Korea travel videos.